Hello, Jyotish patrons. Welcome to Jyotish Kasi's YouTube channel. In this short video, I'm going to give you a perspective and overview of what is the effect of the transit of Jupiter and Saturn on your horoscope for the next 12 months. As you all know, that Jupiter has transited from Sagittarius to Capricorn uh, on November 20th of this year, and that transit is going to last for approximately about a year. Although in between it's going to shift the rashis, but overall effect will be on Capricorn. And as you also know, that Saturn is already transiting Capricorn. So in a very rare moment, both Saturn and Jupiter are in Capricorn in transit. So, how is it going to affect you? Now, before I begin to talk about the effect of the transit, one thing I would like to lay down is that whether the transit has a positive, negative, or a mixed result, it needs to be viewed from the overall horoscopic perspective. Okay. So these transit effects that I'm talking to are more generic in nature. But what is specific to you is actually your horoscope, your natal horoscope, and the dasha period that you're going through. Okay. So you need to take those things into considerations in context to and contextualize those to the effect of the transits. Okay. So let me begin very quickly by actually sharing what I have here. Okay, so what you're seeing here on the screen is the effect of Jupiter and Saturn transits um, from November 2020 to November 2021. The first thing to look at is where does the moon reside in your particular horoscope? So if the moon sign, depending upon which sign it is posited in, the effects are given out here. Okay, so let's start with Mesha or Aries. So if your moon sign is in Aries in your horoscope, current transit of Jupiter is going to impact your 10th house. And the impact of 10th house, it is um, considered negative. Okay. And current transit of Saturn is also on the 10th house, which is also considered negative. So the overall effect is quite poor. And the areas of effect or by Jupiter, you know, yes, your properties will be affected, your positions will be affected, and to some extent your children also are affected. Whereas on Saturn side of things, it's more prone to fall from a position or disease. So overall effect is poor if your moon is in Mesha Rashi. Now, if your moon is in Taurus or Vrishabha Rashi, you know, Jupiter is in the ninth house, which is supposed to be an excellent position for Jupiter. So this is great, actually. Your fortunes are going to increase, and there will be a lot of very good effect and prosperity all around the year. However, Saturn is also on your ninth house, and that is supposed to be negative. So the overall effect is going to be mixed. Saturn is going to affect your wealth, and also it may cause harm to some elderly person, such as your father or even your guru in your home. So that is the effect of Taurus if your moon is in Taurus. Okay. If your moon is in Mithuna or Gemini, this is probably a very, very challenging year for you. The reason for that is Jupiter is in the eighth house, and the connotations for eighth house is extremely poor when it comes to positioning of Jupiter. It's very negative. Uh, Added to that, even Saturn is in your eighth house or a Stamshashani. So eighth house again is extremely negative. So it's very challenging year for you the next 12 months. From Jupiter's side, it's going to affect you by causing tiresome journeys and some loss of energy. Your stress levels will increase a lot, and you could also get bothersome people or neighborhood around you. From Saturn's perspective, it will cause loss of wealth, children, vehicle. If you're in the stock market, be extremely conservative. This is not a good time financially. So, Gemini people, I would say exercise caution. Okay. Coming to Cancer. Cancer, Jupiter is in the seventh house, supposed to be a very positive position for Jupiter, especially in terms of relationships. You could have extended relationships, etc. However, Saturn's position in the same house, in the seventh house, is very negative in terms of partnership as well as your spousal relationship. So, on one hand, you have extended relationship. Sometimes these relationships are can transient beyond your normal relationships, but in a very positive way. However, you got to be careful with your spouse. It can bring some harm to your spouse, and it can also bring some harm to you from the spouse. So it's a kind of a mixed bag when it comes to Cancer. In terms of Leo, Jupiter is in the sixth house, which is very negative in terms of diseases, enemies, etc. And sixth house, whereas Saturn in the sixth house is an extreme positive. So for Simha Rashis, also it's kind of mixed. On one hand, Jupiter is bringing trouble from enemies. On the other hand, Saturn's position is very well grounded and happiness all around. Coming to Kanya Rashi or Virgo, Virgo, the Jupiter is in fifth house. Now, when Jupiter in the fifth house is extremely positive in terms of gain, of children, there could be childbirth. You could have royal favors, and your friendships can extend very well in the society. So there will be an overall happiness. However, Saturn's position in the fifth house is negative, so the overall result will be mixed because Saturn will cause you some confusions in the mind and potentially some misconceptions in the inclinations of mind. Okay. Tula, when it comes to if your moon sign is in Tula or Libra, Jupiter happens to be in your fourth house in this transit, which is very negative in terms of your general happiness, your property dealings, etc. And added to that, Saturn is also in the fourth house, so it's a double whammy. So overall, for Tula people, it's a very poor period. The next 12 months, you have to be very careful. Jupiter gives you sorrow, humiliation in relationships, and vehicular accidents. Be very careful driving, etc. Saturn, on the other hand, gives you loss of spouse, relationships, and loss of wealth. So, those whose moon sign is Libra, I would suggest be very careful for the next 12 months. Exercise caution. Okay. Uh, next rather, is Vrishchika, Scorpio. For Scorpio, Jupiter is in the third house, which is actually a negative because it increases the stress levels quite a lot. So mentally, I think you will be quite stressed, and your whole entrepreneurship levels will start coming down a bit. However, a huge positive is that Saturn is also posited in the third house, which is a great positive, which actually gives you quite a bit of relief from what the stress Jupiter is causing to you. So, although it's a mixed bag, overall it will be more on the positive side because of Saturn. So, the mental stress and moments that are caused by Jupiter will be neutralized pretty much by stabilizing energy of Saturn. So that will be good for you. Uh, The next, Dhanur Rashi or Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, Jupiter is in the second house. Jupiter in the second house is an excellent position to be in. Overall, increase in happiness, increase in wealth, increase in net worth, and very good relationships with your blood relationships, etc. Will prosper. Whereas Saturn's position in the same house, which is also in the second house, is negative. So the overall effect will be a mixed bag. Also realize that you are, in Sadhisati time period, so that will cause some more challenges. So while Jupiter is giving you increase in wealth, you need to guard that wealth and you be very conservative, because Saturn is going to give exactly the opposite result. Okay. Now, coming to Makara or Capricorn, if your moon sign is in Makara or Capricorn, Jupiter is in the first house. It's right with your moon, and that's a very negative position to be in when it comes to transits. So it is going to cause actually ill will from others. And there will also be destabilization of your home or your placement. There will be displacement in general. Same thing with Saturn. Saturn is very negative on the first house. It will cause you. It will be the cause for diseases and some funeral rites, which means that some kind of a death in the family, etc. So be very careful during this time period, as for those whose moon is in Makara or Capricorn. Uh, then comes Kumbha or Aquarius. For Aquarius, the Jupiter is in the 12th house, which is a negative, which is a house of loss, house of isolation, and hospitalization, etc. And also added to that, Saturn is also in the 12th house. So overall, it's negative. And also, Kumbha Rashi people are also in Sadhisati. So, from Jupiter's perspective, the effect will be grief from property dealings, etc. And from Saturn's perspective, the business effort will increase, but the gains will be relatively less, and you will get more stress from others. So I would say from Kumbha Rashi people, also be very careful. Meena Rashi or Pisces, a very hearty congratulations to those whose moon sign is in Pisces, because the next 12 months are going to be one of the best time periods of your life. So it's an excellent time period because Jupiter in the 11th house is a very, very lucky position to be in. Gain of wealth, gain of position, gain of prosperity, gain of friends, overall recognition in the society will increase. Added to that, 11th house position of Saturn is extremely good, and that will cause you to, I mean, that's a very, very lucky period for you. Honor, increase of wealth, etc. Overall happiness will be on rise. So, Meena Rashi people, hearty congratulations to you. So this is the overall summary of the effect of the transits. However, I would like you to draw your attention to these important notes. The first important note is that the effect of the transits are only about 10, maybe 15% of the overall effect or experience that you will have in the next 12 months. The other important variables are about 60% is decided by the core of your horoscope. Okay, whatever is promised in your individual horoscopes, the transits are within the boundaries of that effect. Okay, and even within the core of the horoscope, about 30% is dictated by the dasha period that you're going through. So if your natal horoscope is strong and your dasha period is also very favorable, then the effects that you're seeing in this transits, with the positive effects will multiply and the negative or the mixed effects will get neutralized. On the other hand, if your natal horoscope is weak and the dasha period is also unfavorable, then what will happen is that these effects, the poor effects and the mixed effects, will multiply, and the positive effects will be kind of subdued. So this is very important to understand, because the natal horoscope and the dasha period are individual to you and they're unique to you. So that clearly lays the boundaries of the effects of everything that you're experiencing. And transit effects are like trigger points. They trigger what is promised in your natal horoscope according to what is in the static portion and according to what is in the dynamic portion of the dasha period that you're experiencing. So it is very important that if you want to know what exactly will be the effect in your horoscope, you consult a good astrologer, before arriving at any kind of a conclusion of your own. Okay. So thank you very much for watching this video. And if you have any questions, please feel free to visit my website, which is jyotishkasi.com. You can also subscribe to my channel, and as I will be posting on and off such short and hopefully useful videos for you. Thank you.